Hello and welcome to 81 All Out. This is a very special episode because we're going to be talking about the IPL. With the latest season kicking off in a few days, we thought we should talk about the upcoming season, the teams, how they're stacking up, who are our favorites, and what are our predictions. We have Sid V on the panel. Ananta is there, and then our special guest is Arnab Great Wong. Welcome to the pod, gentlemen. So let's start with the most obvious team which is going to make the final. So we'll start with CSK also because they're the defending champions. I'm slightly less gung-ho than I was last year about CSK, to be honest. You know, they had that whole fire behind them coming out of suspension, and it was probably the most magical run I've ever seen. And the team also is pretty much set. So I just don't know what else is going to happen or who else is going to be able to try to, push them off the perch. Sid, what do you think?
I see it too similar to last time. I don't even think about the final. I mean, you can never rule them out and all that. But I think a lot of the team, they didn't really get any new players in the auction. They didn't want any, I guess, also. And the squad that they have is, and they're probably going to play the 11 that largely played most of the games last year. And there's a bit of a sameness to it. And I feel that unlike last year where we all made fun of, many of us at least made fun of how old the team was, I think that's going to definitely come and bite them this year. I'm probably talking more out of hope than anything. But because not that I don't like CSK or I don't have any major affiliation here, but I want a new winner. I think the IPL could do with a new winner. And I feel that the age factor will definitely play a part for them this year.
Arnab, what's your take?
Well, last time I said that they were too old and I had egg on my face. So this time I'll say old +1 following C coding rules. This is like a bunch of senior VPs meeting and decide how to divvy up the bonuses at the end of the year. These guys, they should be part of a youth. They should be part of a youth political party in India. This is the age at which they can call themselves youth leaders. So common sense and cricketing, whatever I've learned about cricket just flies away when you look at CSK. There's no way this should even be a team unless they were playing seniors in Canada or in US. If you just put aside my CSK will always be in the final, by common cricketing logic, this team should not be in the top 4. But they will be, but they're just too old. And there is a sameness. It's okay to be stable, but then there's this other extreme where you're just essentially the same team. And all of them are on their kind of way down. Suresh Raina also. It's very difficult to write off Suresh Raina. Suresh Raina is in IPL is like Modi in Gujarat. He's always super hit. So you can never write him off. But I also think that, again, I don't have a good feeling about Chennai Super Kings, but I'm definite at the end of the season, I'm going to have egg on my face again.
Ananta.
So, I am worried about CSK. But the thing is, I'm not going to write them off. But as you said, they had lots of ups and downs last year. They won games, but it was never, I didn't think it was ever, they surprised us.
Because if you look at the teams, right, they have Watson, who's killing it in the PSL right now. So even though we say age, he's having a tremendous series in the PSL. And then obviously there is Raina, Jadhav, Raidu, Jadeja. So all these guys are in your main team setup, and they're all part of this. And obviously then there is Bravo and guys are there. But for me, I think the X factor is going to be Ingidi. If he does what he did last year, then they will somehow, bring everyone around and they will come up. Because Dhoni has said this always, and and he said this only last year, but I can see this throughout the years. CSK has only played with 10 people. They've always had like a 11th player who, is either a bowler who never gets to bowl, or is a batsman who gets sent at like 8 or something. They always have one extra player.
The Badrinath syndrome.
Don't say bad shit about Badrinath.
Yeah, you cannot say anything about Badri with Ananta anywhere near you.
He was a floater for them. There's been tons of games where he's just been sent when they've lost wickets at the top. He steadied stuff, got them to a total where they can compete.
Okay.
But then when the top order is batting very well, they have no need for him at all.
Okay. Are you as emotional about Mithun Manas then?
Maybe. I have a fetish for these bits and pieces players, you could say.
Badrinath is a tremendous player in first-class cricket and all that, but the fact that you're defending him so staunchly for IPL is...
I'll say one point about Badri, right? So if you go back and look at his whenever he's gotten to bat, right, you will see the first 10 or 15 balls his strike rate would be less than 100%, 100, and then it'll slowly climb, and the moment you see that he has paced around 30 balls, it'll be much around the 100 mark or even more, and there'll be one other person who's standing around on the other side doing the hitting. So he was a role player. I mean, if you were to use a NBA parlance, he was a perfect sixth man.
I remember innings where he could, do the strike rotation, and suddenly there'll be 1 over where he'll get 20 and really kick it out. Yeah, he was very good, definitely at times, but
but he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't fit into any other team though. That was a team that was tailor-made for his kind of contributions.
That is an interesting point, yeah. And I think, you're right. CSK has this habit of drawing that certain kind of player, right? Who fits in so well to, even though if he may do just 70%, he fits in perfectly in that combination. I mean, last year, classic example, Duplessis hardly did anything through the tournament. Then suddenly he came in that knockout game, that one game, he played the blinder and he got them through. In that qualifier, and if not for that, just that one innings, he just came and performed. Did it?
The only place where I find CSK in trouble is in the spin department, because Karan Sharma, Tahir, and Baji. I don't know. Between those three, if you compare the resources the other teams have.
Dwayne Bravo now bowls at spin level only.
but then you have Jadeja and Jadhav, much, huh?
Yeah. I know, but they are not your premier spinner, right? Like
that's what I'm saying.
Get you overs.
No,
I'm not saying no.
Correct. See, 5 bowlers. If Bravo is going to bowl all his 4,
CSK has 8 bowlers, but you don't have a bank. Like teams have a bank. There is one spinner bank that all teams can draw from. CSK is lacking in that. So they have. Between Raina, Jadhav, Jadeja, they can get 8 overs easily. That's not the point. Before we move on to our next team, there's one last thing I will say about CSK. CSK is a team of 11 Jayadratts. One day, one guy will be there. He will show up. No one will be able to stop him. Then just like Sid gave the example of Faf, there will be a Jayadratt for every game. And if that happens, they will win again this time.
That is very true, because, if I go through the lineup, you had Raidu, who suddenly had those great games last year. Then Raina is, of course, an IPL legend. I mean, he's probably one of the greatest batsmen in the IPL. And then Billings won one game and he won for them. Jadeja will win them 1 or 2 games easily, either with bat or ball. Bravo and Jadhav won them that first game, and then also Bravo continued. I mean, Jadhav didn't even play after that, right?
Yeah, he won the game, but he was injured during the game.
Exactly.
One game, 1 leg 6.
But one thing is that, Dhoni, IPL legend, probably untouchable in terms of his IPL level and all. But even with that, he had one of the most mind-blowing seasons last. That game against Punjab, which CSK lost, but he actually got them so close. I mean, for that guy, of course, can never write him off, but I really don't think he's going to have another season in that level, which makes me think that, automatically then the team is going to not do as well.
But there's one positive I think I can see from the 11, right? I don't think there will be players leaving in the middle unless otherwise they are injured. The team looks like it is made to last the entire season, whereas the other teams all have vital cogs that might leave during the middle, whether it's English players or Australians.
Right?
During the IPL, why?
They'll rest him, of course. They'll have to rest him for the World Cup. I hope they do.
That's an interesting point. I mean, we have to talk about that, because there's not just that. English players are going to go out. They'll talk about, there's only one player, David Willey, who probably has a chance of making it to the Ashes squad.
What about the South Africans? Will Faf and Ingidi have to go?
Faf may go, but Ingidi is not in their. I don't think he's in their World Cup plans.
As far as I know, and I'm not sure, I think the South African board said that these guys could play pretty much till the end. I might be wrong, because
okay. I thought only New Zealand.
It's only England Yeah, England, these guys said no.
England and Australia. I think Australia has a camp as well, sometime in the early May. Yeah, but you're right. Ananta is right. The number of players that they will lose is much lesser compared to the other teams. Yeah.
I don't know how Shane Watson is going to last. He's been continuously playing BBL, where he played very well. As you said, he's been playing well in PSL. I just, at his age, I just don't see him lasting the tournament. And I really hope from an Indian fan perspective that Dhoni is rested, because he's not getting younger. And, God damn it, we need him at the World Cup. There's no two ways about it after seeing India in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a keeper. Raidu or someone has to don the gloves.
No, Sam Billings. Sam Billings is the other keeper.
Yeah,
Sam Billings is there. Yeah, I forgot.
And then they have an Indian player, Jagadisan, as well.
No, he's there just for the documentary on Hotstar. That's
I mean, Billings is the more likely one, and because Billings is not in the England one-day team. So
he's not in that setup, and he can give you some of those crazy innings. So I think, it'll be a toss-up between Billings and Dhoni.
Yeah.
They'll rest him against the Delhi or the Delhi game. Speaking of which, let us talk about Delhi.
Delhi Capitals, dude. I'm telling you, I have a good feeling about them this time.
I have a good feeling about them too, just because Saurav Ganguly is there, but it's Delhi, you just can't say. I mean, when I was in Maryland, there used to be this apartment complex which used to have terrible reviews, like out of 5 1-star reviews. And every 2 years, they would rename themselves, hoping that the reviews go away.
Yeah.
So they would call themselves this garden, that garden. They change every 2 years. And then some jerk would go in the review and said, this is actually the same apartment. There you have it. So Delhi Capitals is in that situation.
Delhi Capitals were a good team last year, but they had a big blow when Rabada didn't come and when Chris Morris got injured. I think Chris Morris is like a major linchpin in that team, because he's like that all-rounder that they really that connects the two parts of the lineup. Their batting was very good towards the end of last season. If you remember, Shreyas Iyer, Prithvi Shaw, all of
Pant.
them. Of course, Pant. They all suddenly had that good time.
On paper, they're my favorite. There's no two ways
and now they have Shikhar Dhawan Shikhar Dhawan, who is like IPL legend, and they also have players like Colin Munro and Colin Ingram, both who have been having a good PSL.
Prithvi Shaw.
Prithvi Shaw is also there, but
yes, he's going to open. He's definitely going to open.
And they are, given that they will play half their matches at the Kotla, which as we saw in the last game and as we have seen over the years, is not like one of those Chinnaswamy type of 3/3 that massive 220 kind of pitch. Often in Kotla you have games where you have 150, even teams do defend. And I think with Rabada, Bolt, and Lamichane, I think that's and Morris, of course.
And by the way, there is another guy who I am guessing is going to step up this season. It's Hanuma Vihari. If he plays on this Delhi tracks, with some amount of off break and with a decent technique, he could be because the problem with Delhi is that they have a lot of these cowboy kind of batsmen who don't care. They just come out and they start bashing. And especially even with Colin Munro, even the foreign players are all like that. So they needed somebody who's kind of stable in the middle. Gambhir was supposed to be that last time. He, of course, self-destructed. So I think Hanuma Vihari is really key to their plans. Might not be obvious, but I'm rooting for Hanuma Vihari.
I would agree with what Arnab said. Their team looks solid. You have Shaw, Dhawan opening, Shreyas Iyer 1 down, Hanuma Vihari, Ingram, and then Pant, after that Morris. I mean, that first 6-7 looks fabulous on paper. And then after that in spin also, they have obviously the great Amit Mishra.
Aksar Patel. Aksar
Patel is there.
They paid big bucks for Aksar Patel, right? I think 5 crores or something.
Yeah, massive amount, yeah.
Then there's Rahul Tewatia, who wasn't bad last time.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
My only thing is, I think again, Lamichane was going to get shortchanged. I mean, I watched some games in the Big Bash. He did really well, but I think he's going to get shortchanged because Morris has to play, Ingram has to play, Rabada has to play, and then it has to become a toss-up between Lamichane and Bolt and Munro. In those three, only one.
Bolt will definitely play.
With World Cup, I don't know what their plans will be for Rabada. The South Africans might want to rest him.
Oh yeah, he will be in their World Cup plans for sure. Yeah,
and that's why they bought Chemo Paul this time, right?
Yes.
the Guyana guy.
Kimo Paul is also is a good batsman too. He's not just
Yeah, he's a pinch hitter. He did well in the CPL.
Yeah.
So there's this other guy called it's not Shane Rutherford.
Sherfane Rutherford.
Sherfane, yeah.
He was also pretty good in CPL. So they have a really perfect team, but it's my main problem with Delhi is Delhi being Delhi. They have had everyone. If you look at all the great IPL players at one point of time or another, they have played for Delhi. But they have like Sehwag, Gambhir when he was like in 2008, 2009.
De Villiers.
They had De Villiers. Name anybody. They had Andre Russell, by the way. They had Andre Russell. So they had Peterson. They had everybody. And somehow they could never, ever do it. So just like CSK, which can always do it no matter what cricketing common sense tells you, this is another one of those sides which just isn't able to put it together when the time comes. I have no explanation as to why that is the case.
In terms of IPL, like invariably the team that wins the IPL has the best local core, right? So I think Delhi have like a really strong foreign core. But it'll eventually, it'll depend on Shaw, Dhawan, Shreyas Iyer, Amit Mishra, Tewatia. It'll depend on that core to basically.
Pant is the
I keep missing Pant, but yeah, Pant. And it basically, those guys can. So, I mean, Shreyas Iyer has been having a mind-blowing domestic season. So, he could be
he had some great performance in the Mushtaq Ali Trophy also.
Exactly. Mushtaq Ali, and even in that.
Multiple hundreds, right?
Multiple hundreds. Then Mumbai won the one-day tournament, the Vijay Hazare, which he played a big.
No, I think after CSK, Delhi is the only team that has understood the I in the IPL really well, because that they can put an entire first six without any overseas players.
Yeah,
like Shaw, Dhawan, Iyer, Vihari, Pant. Even Manjot Kalra can play.
Jayant Yadav,
Jalat Saxena they got. So. They have a really strong eye for the IPL. I was surprised during the auction when I saw Mohammad Kaif.
He's the assistant coach. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I think he picked really well.
Yeah, they did. In fact, they have one of the strategy manager that they have used to work for Sunrisers before. Srinath Bhashyam. He's on Twitter. You guys follow him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he moved to Delhi Capitals recently, so maybe he had a hand in some of this as well.
It's a great team. Go up and down this team. It's almost a dream team. Still, I'll say they'll lose, unfortunately.
But they have Dada. But they have Dada too in there too. They
have Dada. So I kind of have divided loyalties here, but with KKR and Delhi this time. Also because my wife's from Delhi. But in any case, I'm pretty sure Delhi's. I still don't see. Another good thing about Delhi is that they don't have any Indian bowlers. So I think that the Indian.
Hey, Ishant Sharma.
Hey, Nathu Singh.
I mean, I'm saying none of them are going to go to World Cup. That's what I'm trying to say. So neither Ishant Sharma nor Nathu Singh is going to go to World Cup. So and I don't think Amit Mishra is either. So that's another good thing for them. I don't think they're going to be resting any of the Indian bowlers. I'm pretty sure that the BCCI is going to rest. Bumrah is definitely not going to play the full tournament. I hope he doesn't. So that's another advantage that Delhi has. I don't think anybody here is, other than Shikhar Dhawan, is even going to be going to the World Cup.
No, not even Pant?
I don't think so. I don't think Pant is. I don't think Pant had a great audition. The kind of shots he played in the one-day game, I would be surprised if Pant goes to England. I could be wrong, but
Arnab, you just did what I did before the Australian series.
You dissed Pant? Yes. So my main problem with Rishabh Pant is I'm a big fan of Rishabh Pant, but I just think he's not still ready, especially in a tournament like the World Cup, which is as much as about pressure. I don't know how he's going to take that kind of pressure that is expected, especially the slot that he comes in at. He'll be coming in at 5 or 6. For me, World Cup is about experience. It's just specific to this tournament. That's why Yuvraj was so good in 2011. He was over the top even then. But it's just that experience I've seen in Mahinda Ramanath in 1983. Unfortunately, I have to go back. So it's always the older guys with experience who can really turn it on in the World Cup. And it's kind of atypical of other tournaments.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think also in terms of T20, like Pant, he needs to play a few more one-day games to actually get into the rhythm of the 50 overs thing. But I think 20 overs, he's sort of aced it already. So he comes in, he knows exactly what to do. He's figured out. He's like, he seems in his zone in IPL. So I think for Delhi, it's going to be a really exciting season. I mean, as you say, CSK may end up winning, Delhi may end up last, and then we'll be like, oh shit, what the hell did we discuss?
Don't worry. Speaking of last, we have Kings 11 Punjab.
Oh, okay. Kings 11 Punjab, actually, like the first half of last season, they were leading the table, right?
Yeah, they won 5 out of 6.
Yeah, just based on the performance of two people. It was like, the way we used to do lab assignments in college. The two guys used to work and rest of them just programming two people, rest of them are just doing documentation.
And I remember Ashwin said that basically they just wanted to move forward, but they couldn't. It's almost like that's it. They were paralyzed. They didn't know what to do after being on the top of the table.
But they had a very weird auction. At first when I heard that Mike Hesson is going to be the new coach, I was kind of interested because, the guy's a really shrewd guy. And I've heard him, even when he does the alternate commentary on Hotstar, he's really, articulate and collected and in his thoughts. So I thought, okay, this is going to be interesting. But once the auction was done, I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, you have Ashwin, who's the captain. So, he has to play. So one spinner slot is gone. Mm-hmm. On top of that, they have Mujib. Then they have M. Ashwin. And then they bought some guy called Varun Chakravarti for like 8 crores.
I think KKR screwed them on that too. That's the way they did it for Yuvraj at one point of time. They
have 4 mystery spinners in the team. Ashwin also, because he comes and bowls leg spin and then he off spin and all those other, things that he wants to do. They have 4 mystery spinners in the team.
Sarfaraz Khan is also a mystery spinner. He doesn't bowl. That's the mystery.
Sarfaraz is the greatest mystery of, I don't know how he getting bought. Like, RCB carried him for so many years. They retained him.
I know.
Never gave a game. And now Punjab bought him.
After watching him last season, for Punjab to actually buy him, I'm like, dude, did you even see last season, or were you just like not watching any games? And they also spent a lot on that wicketkeeper, right? From Simran.
Yeah.
But they didn't get a wicketkeeper. I don't think KL Rahul is going to keep this time.
But they also picked up Nicholas Puran.
Yeah, they have him too. So, but of course, Puran, if West Indies he may have to leave early.
So for me, their star this time, I'm hoping that their star is going to be Mayank Agarwal.
That's right. He had a good Syed Mushtaq Ali also, right?
Good Syed Mushtaq Ali. He's been in very good form. He's been in the form of his life. I thought he was a revelation in Australia. And he just looks so confident. And I never thought, watching Mayank Agarwal bat for RCB at one point of time when he first began, that this would be the same Mayank Agarwal. But Mayank Agarwal, for me, is really going to be the linchpin if these guys are going to do well this year. I also think that it's Kings 11's time perhaps to win the IPL, because I just don't. If I was a Kings 11 fan, I would be very, very disappointed with this team. The only way they can redeem themselves is to win it this time. So I'm kind of supporting them. But you're right. There is not much in their batting. There's not much in terms of not much thought went into their team, it seems.
Well, last year, exactly. I was going to come to that. Chris Gayle. It was almost like the first half of the season, he did his job, and then after that, he's like, okay, boys, chill out.
No. Yeah, Gayle thing was that you paid me for the first half of the season, right? This is my rate per game. You guys got me cheap, so I played 5 games for you. The rest of it, I'm going to just dial it in. And Chris Gayle has been in very good form recently. I don't know where this guy's...
Oh my God, those one-day innings.
Yeah, that innings he played. Man.
Jeez.
He's in the form of his life. He doesn't run anymore. He just stands there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, guys like Watson and Gayle, they have been IPL legends. And you'd think, okay, year after year, their stock is going to fall. But Watson has been killing it in the PSL. Gayle has been just killing it right now. I'm like, what is going on with these guys?
Well, Gayle is pretty much like in that 100 that he made, that mad 100 he scored some 10,000 sixes or something like that.
162, right?
Yeah, he had some 50 dot balls or something, man.
Yeah.
It's like an extreme case. He's like, he'll take dot ball, 666. Dot ball, 666. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, he doesn't run anymore. It's an amazing. Ganguly must be wishing he was batting at the other end. Nobody would need to run. With Gale, running would be redundant. But yeah, he's amazing, and that's a great thing. He's part of the West Indies team, right? This time for the World Cup.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
He said he's going to retire after. But I'm talking about Mayank Agarwal. It was very interesting last year. It's like it wasn't like he had any major weakness against any particular bowling or something. It's just like he was finding ways to get out. And these things happen, of course, but it was strange that it was happening over the whole season. I thought, okay, 2 games, 3 games, he's had like a bad game. He's played a bad shot, something. He was unlucky probably a few times. But then he went through the whole season in that same vein. It wasn't like he was batting badly. He's just like not able to continue. So hopefully that changes this time.
Yeah, he's kind of that guy in high school who always comes fourth in the exam. He's always good, but he never makes that impression. There's this one line which he cannot cross. Like Raina can cross that line, and a lot of players can cross that line. We are discussing Chris Gale. They obviously stay on this side of the line. Even when all other things, like he's like 40 years old, it shouldn't be the case. That's his eyesight looks pretty much as good as it was in his prime. But Mayank Agarwal, that's why I'm rooting for him this time to cross that line and become an IPL legend, because I do think that he's developed to the place where I think he can be at least an IPL legend, if not more.
Yeah, and if they can sort out if the top 3 of Mayank Agarwal, KL Rahul and Gale are firing, then that's half the job done.
Karun Nair.
Of course, I'm saying the top 3 is like big, right, in the IPL, because once those 3 guys fire, then you're already like set in the first 10. And then you have David Miller and Karun Nair and the rest to come. So,
and they bought Mandeep Singh this time.
Oh yes, him too.
And Sam Curran. Sam Curran is going to be, I wonder that it was a very expensive buy, I think, if I'm not wrong.
But it's a very interesting buy because Sam Curran won't play the World Cup.
Yeah, he's not in their one-day setup. And which is why I was surprised that they paid like 7 crore or something for Sam Curran. And
so I think it was one of the British podcasts, right? They were saying Tom Curran would have been a better buy than Sam.
Yeah, we KKR, we saw what a good buy he was last time.
KKR let him go, right?
Yeah, we let him go. He actually had a very good BBL season, but he's not very good for Indian pitches.
Yeah, even this year, both the Curran brothers did well in BBL. But yeah, I was definitely surprised at 7 crore for him. And
I'm also surprised, especially after the West Indies tour. Of course, the auction happened before that. But on the West Indies tour, you pretty much saw that, without that English conditions and the swing, Sam Curran is pretty much neutralized. So in India, the bowler Sam Curran would, I don't think, create that much of an impression in the kind of conditions they get. And so it's up to the batsman Sam Curran. And would Punjab want to play a guy like Sam Curran at number 7, who will probably get like 3 overs?
And they have Moises Henriques. They have Moises Henriques instead, right?
They have Prabh Simran, who's supposed to be a pretty big hitter anyway. So how much, and Ashwin will have to play, irrespective of, because he's a captain. So I don't know how many overs Curran and Moises Henriques and all will get anyway.
Moises Henriques hardly bowls. In BBL this time he has this shoulder injury. He mostly plays as a batsman. He comes in and bowls 1 over or so. At least that's what I saw in the BBL game. So he's not that regular a bowler as he used to be. Like for instance, Shane Watson has stopped bowling. I don't think he might have bowled in 1 game in BBL, but then I think he's totally stopped bowling. But he had a great BBL batting wise.
And even with Gale in the mix, right? I don't have a lot of hopes for Punjab, mainly because even if Gale fails or Gale plays as usual, I will hold on to the strike at one end, hit a few sixes, I won't run, kind of batting that he does for West Indies. The guys on the other side are equally capable of going off. I'm talking about the West Indies squad. I don't know if this Punjab squad is loaded like that. So while there is KL Rahul, while there is Karun Nair, I don't know if they can consistently play the same way, and this is going to be a longer tournament. So I don't have any hopes.
No, Punjab has a fabulous chance, Anta. Punjab has a fabulous chance of taking bottom of the barrel. They are the prime contenders for bottom of the barrel. There's miles between them and any other team for bottom of the barrel.
See, if you play Gale which is probably going to happen. And if you play David Miller, which definitely should happen, I think, because he's that one guy who can give you that middle over boost, then you have only two other spots, right?
And you have to play Mujib.
You have to play Mujib. And then you're left with that one spot between Moises Henriques and Sam Curran.
No, Andrew Tye.
Correct. I forgot him.
So that's what I'm saying. That's a problem, right? You cannot pick your four. Picking the four overseas is very difficult for this team. And however you do it, you don't get a balance because they're fast bowling. If you think, okay, I mean, they got Shami, but other than that, they don't have anyone. So they have to play either Andrew Tye or in there for sure. So Andrew Tye has to play along with Shami, so because they need two bowlers, and then Mujib has to play. Ashwin has to play.
They will play Puran.
And then
because that's the keeper.
Not necessarily.
That's their keeper.
Prabh Simran has to keep.
Prabh Simran will keep.
So yeah, this is a very weird team. And that's why I started saying what I started, right? Having known that Mike Hesson was going to be the coach and I had hopes, but this is a complete mess.
I think I want to highlight, it's this guy called Harders Villogen. Has any of you seen him?
Yeah.
He did well in the T10 league, right?
Yes, in the T10 league. I happened to watch that T10 league. And this T10 league, which was in UAE. In 10 overs, people were like, the average score was 120. People were scoring 140. And this guy was one of the bowlers who used to give like 7 or 8 runs an over, which is like giving 3 runs an over in IPL. And this guy is good. I liked him. And people were being like 14 run overs, 15 run overs was the norm. And he was going at like 7, 8, consistent.
So did he bowl all his quota?
He always used to bowl his quota.
Yeah, and he would get like at least 2 to 3 wickets every game.
Yeah. I'm seeing 2 for 24, 3 for 26, so 2 for 15.
I don't know if you guys remember, but back in 2016, this guy actually played a test. He played a test against England in Johannesburg, and he played a few ODIs and limited overs, and he was one of those guys who went to the Kolpak route, and a lot of South Africans were really feeling bad that such a good talent went away and all. He's big built, and he was bowling pretty quick back then. I don't know if he's still as quick, but I really doubt he's going to get a game because you have Andrew Tye, who had such a good IPL last year, and if this guy and Ankit Rajput has been bowling well in domestic, so I really doubt if he's even going to get many games.
I don't think that's what I'm saying.
Tye had a bad BBL. I think Tye is having a bad year. I'm not sure Tye will be a first choice.
To be frank, Tye had a bad IPL as well. What he would get, what I would call as garbage wickets, garbage time wickets.
In the end, if you mean.
Yeah, 18th over he would bowl, 20th over he would bowl. Everyone's trying to just slam, all top edges would go. He would get garbage time wickets.
He had a pretty good slower ball though. I mean, he bowled...
I know, but his wickets weren't up at the top.
Yeah,
but the plus point...
Even if Andrew Tye doesn't play, you have Mohammad Shami, Ankit Rajput. So Viljoen will probably get that.
He'll get games. I think Mohammad Shami is going to be withdrawn by BCCI after some time. He's definitely part of World Cup.
Yeah.
Plans.
No, that's what. So Harder, both Viljoen and Tye probably can play through the season for Kings 11. At least one of them will play all the games.
Sam Curran will play. I'm pretty sure since they've paid this amount of money, unless he breaks down or plays really bad, or
unless Rishabh Pant hits him for like 60 runs in one over.
Or he has a Vinay Kumar kind of season, what Vinay Kumar had for KKR last time.
My only hope is that Varun Chakravarti, I know I watched some games, some videos of him in the TNPL. I mean, they've paid like 8 crores for him. I hope he at least gets some games and doesn't become like another KC Kariappa.
Yeah, exactly. KC Kariappa, I remember he played for Kolkata. The first time he was brought in to bowl, he bowled to AB de Villiers at his best. And of course, he got hit all over. Then I think he dropped a catch, and that was the last he played. I was surprised that both Ashwin and Karthik went so aggressively for this guy. So they must have like really loved what they had seen, because for Calcutta it also didn't make any sense to splurge, given the little cash that they had on another mystery spinner when everybody is a mystery spinner. So it obviously didn't make sense for them. Perhaps makes a little bit more sense for Punjab than it made sense for Calcutta actually.
Like if CSK could have picked him up, I mean, if the bidding wasn't this crazy. But like, Punjab
But they won't play him. No, there's no way to play. CSK won't play him at all.
They can play him ahead of Bajji, dude.
No. So see, that's the thing. I think so. This is again my hypothesis. Dhoni as a captain, he always prefers experienced players he can trust. I remember last time in one of the match, the end ceremonies, he didn't mention any bowlers, but he was like really pissed off at the bowlers. He said, there's all these, they're young bowlers that they had. If you can only tell people to do something, if they don't bowl there, what are you going to do? So I think Dhoni really prefers like old hands, like people who he trusts.
Yeah, which is why he brought back Mohit Sharma.
Yeah, Mohit Sharma is 32 or something. So he'll trust Mohit Sharma more than you'll trust Varun Chakravarti.
But just as we spoke about KC Kariyappa, I realized we should talk about KKR now. Arnav, why don't you start?
So normally, as a KKR fan, I always have a breakdown during the auctions. It's only once that I think that we did very well at the auctions, which was when we bought Gambhir and Yusuf Pathan at his best. So this time, and I might again regret this later, I think they look pretty good. Because for me, the main thing about IPL is one of the big things is stability and having a stable core. And I think Kolkata now has that stable core. I think Dinesh Karthik is a very good captain. We've always struggled with a finisher because Yusuf Pathan never really became when Yusuf Pathan came to Calcutta, he was a different Yusuf Pathan. But we kind of struggled with the finisher. I think Dinesh Karthik is that finisher. I'm a little worried about Uthappa, with whether he's a vital cog, and I just don't think he's there anymore. He's 32, it's not that he should be over the hill given the ages of some of the other people we're talking about. But, last time they had this big problem that they bought Michelle Stark, and, the moment they brought him, I'd said he's not going to play. And they felt this, there was a big gaping hole throughout the tournament. They didn't have any pace bowler who could go and take wickets. I mean, Vinay Kumar was really the fastest bowler. I'm kidding, of course, but that was really the problem. They had to, have Shivam Mavi. They're very unfinished products. They might be good bowlers like 1 or 2 years later, but this is not their time. So they really, really struggled for a pace spearhead, and this time I think they have done very well in that respect. I think
Loki Ferguson
is a very, very good investment to put in. He's 27. I think the problem is he might be part of New Zealand's plans. That's one thing.
No, Dad, this guy, Norrie, Henrik Norrie. That guy was crazy in that Manzai League.
And he's been playing for South Africa now, and he's like really fast. So they have in terms of tearaways, they have Loki and Henrik. And if they want to slow it down a little bit, there's Harry Gurney. So they have, for slow pitches, like a Delhi pitch, I would play Harry Gurney. So, and then they also bought very cheap this guy called Joe Denley, who also bowls pretty fairly decent spin for Indian conditions and is a smart cricketer. So I think they're a very smart team. Nobody there. I mean, and Shubman Gill, I'm again rooting for him to have a breakout season this year. My problem is Carlos Braithwaite. I think they overpaid for him. I don't know what they were thinking. Carlos Braithwaite, because Carlos Braithwaite
Braithwaite's bowling has improved, man.
I think Hyderabad did not use him very well. I think that's what it was.
See, Arnav, I think what you missed is this. Joe Denley is they pick. I think of all the teams, Kolkata had a very good auction because they thought this through very well. It's almost like a chess move kind of thing. So Joe Denley is there because of this guy, Chrislin. So Chrislin might leave, and therefore Joe Denley is for that.
I don't think Chrislin is going to leave. I don't think he's part of the World
Cup.
No,
I don't think. I don't think he's part of the plans.
Chrislin's shoulder. It's another different person. It's Chrislin and Chrislin's shoulder. And
Russell is injury prone. And that's why Braithwaite is insurance for that.
So I saw Russell. Russell doesn't bowl like he bowls off 3 or 4 paces like in para cricket in Calcutta now. So he doesn't. I mean, he just basically dials it in for bowling, but batting he's still as good or as bad as he used to be.
Yeah, but he's injury prone, right? And I think Braithwaite is insurance for that.
I think Russell figures in West Indies World Cup plans.
Yeah, I mean, he was picked in their ODI squad, but he didn't really. It's a hit and miss in that case. He may, but he may not. We're not sure with that.
Nitish Rana's kind of stock has fallen a little bit. believe, but he's
Really?
a good IPL player. I think, again, there's a guy called Rinku Singh who has to make fun of last season. Because
He's had a good Ranji.
Yeah, he had a good Ranji trophy, and I used to call him like bargain basement Raina. So he could get a game this year. We might see Shivam Mavi and Kamlesh Nagarkoti, at least one of them come in.
They're both out.
They're both out. But one of the things I felt last season was that a bit of a great fillip towards the end was their choice of Prasidh Krishna.
Yeah. Prasidh Krishna, yes.
Karnataka guy.
Yeah, he was the spearhead at that point. He was a 21-year-old guy who basically was the spearhead. That was the big problem. And he bowled very well, but...
And that was because they had Mitchell Johnson because Stark wasn't playing. They had Mitchell Johnson who was not doing anything. So they had to give him the ball, and he did pretty well.
I didn't know that both Nagarkoti, because this is another big problem with Calcutta. They carry the leanest squad. So if two of their bowlers are not going to...
I was reading, they picked up some guy called Kerala guy, Warrior.
Oh, yeah. Sandeep Warrior.
Yep, they picked him up because both Nagarkoti and Mavi are out.
Okay. Yeah. I hope it's not Priya Warrior.
No, but then I think Warrior bowled very well in the Ranji this time.
Yeah. He bowled well and he's quick. So that's probably why they picked him, because they would have needed that pace-for-pace replacement for Mavi. Yeah, I think last season Dinesh Karthik was like outstanding. Really came of age, right, as a captain, especially after having, Gambhir having set such a high standard. For this guy to come in and then do so well, it was really impressive.
He's a cool guy. He's very different from Gambhir in many respects, in the sense that there's not a lot of emotion, and he's kind of hyperactive on the field. Again, but if I could look at the negatives for Calcutta, it's just that it's very settled. They do have some backup, but I still think we are very, very dependent on Sunil Narayan. I mean, he's again one of those IPL legends.
He is your bank, man. Sunil Narayan is a bank, and ever since he started batting,
exactly. Who would have thought? His bowling career, we thought he's finished with all the chucking stuff, and he reinvents himself better as an all-rounder, like genuine all-rounder now. He's an amazing guy.
So when I see Kolkata, right, I see similar what we talked about Delhi, right? So to me, if you ask me, both KKR and Chennai have very good chances. But again, for different reasons, right? So Kolkata to me looks much better on paper compared to CSK. Again, I don't think they're going to lose a lot of people because of the World Cup. And I think they have enough of an Indian core to step in. And these are people that have actually done well in past IPLs as well. So I have good hope for...
KKR is a sure shot Final Four in my book. The only Achilles heel that they might have is their fast bowling. Because even guys like Norrie or Lockie or even or Warrior that they now got, or even Gurney, they are all new, right, in the whole IPL setup and all that. So that might be their only Achilles heel, because otherwise they have Kuldeep, Sunil, Dunn there, Russell,
Piyush coming.
Chawla, yeah.
Listen, I was trying to get past this entire KKR section without mentioning Piyush Chawla, but yeah.
How can you not?
No. Piyush Chawla, KKR legend. But looking at the overseas players, see, if Lynn plays and Russell plays, and if Narayan must play, then you have just that one other spot. So, between Lockie, Norrie and Gurney, you basically
only
have
one
of them can play. Yeah, it'll be.
That's what I'm saying, right? That fast bowling thing becomes slightly problematic. Then that means you have to play Warrior, Prasidh Krishna as your other fast bowler, and you have to find balance somehow. So, but again, they're going to play a lot of the games in Eden, so they can afford to play all three spinners as well.
It's interesting that you say that, because Venki Mysore gave an interview just 2 days ago and he said, hope we can play all our matches at Eden. And because of the elections, that it's not shift, we don't have to shift to some other ground. So that'll be a good...
So Bengal has 7 phases, right? This year?
Yeah, exactly.
Bengal election is 7 phases or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So
but hasn't the Kolkata pitch changed? I mean, I just don't understand it was a spinner's pitch, then it became just a batting heaven. I don't know what it's going to be this year. God knows, because Ganguly wanted to make it faster and more a fast bowler's pitch. and it just became basically become a batting paradise now. So I think we would prefer, Calcutta would prefer the old Eden pitch, because I think Calcutta has a very solid lineup of spinners. Not too sure whether this new jazzed up Eden pitch suits their style of cricket that well. The only thing, by the way, that really, if the pitch is fast, there's only one guy who really stands out above the rest. It's Chris Lynn. So Chris Lynn, if the pitch is a little slow, this guy can't bat for nuts. But if the ball comes on, this guy can hit. I hope you guys have seen him bat in BBL.
Oh yeah, he's a legend in the BBL.
Advantage they have, right? When you have Lynn and Narayan opening, the Lynn goes after the faster bowlers and Narayan goes after the spinners.
Yes.
So you have nowhere to hide. I mean, other teams don't know who to open with because these two guys are just like going after them. Yeah, I think Shubman Gill again could have that breakout IPL season. He's been red hot in domestic. So yeah,
and he had a fairly decent end season last time. I mean, he came in at the very end. And
they batted him at 7 or something, right?
But then one game he played 3 or 4, he scored a 50 or something. He looked very confident and he had that. He kind of stood apart from everybody else, I would say. I mean,
I hope he goes one down and Robin comes at 4.
You watch Nitish Rana bat and you realize that this guy is not going to go much farther. This is possibly it for Nitish Rana. But you watch Shubman Gill and you kind of dream that this guy might be the next Kohli. Might be. I don't know. He looks great when he bats.
Yeah, both Gill and Shaw, they are both future team for sure.
Yeah, they have it. They have it in them.
So that was us discussing the prospects of 4 of the 8 teams in IPL 2019. We are at the halfway point with 4 more teams to shine the light on. And so we will take a break now. Please come back and join us for the second part of this episode, where we will take a look at the rest of the teams in the competition and also pick our contenders for the ultimate prize in this year's IPL. Bye-bye.